And for your top story this hour, Iran and the United States have differing views on the conditions for lifting sanctions in exchange for limiting Tehran's nuclear activities. A senior Iranian official confirmed to a local media that renewed talks are scheduled for early March, with hopes for an interim agreement. The official emphasized that Iran's right to uranium enrichment within the framework of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, must be fully recognized by the US. Tehran is exploring options, including the potential export of parts of its highly enriched uranium stockpile, diluting its purity level, and establishing a regional consortium as possible solutions. Iran and the United States have differing views on the conditions for lifting sanctions in exchange for limiting Tehran's nuclear activities. A senior Iranian official has confirmed to a local media that renewed talks are scheduled for early March, with hopes for an interim agreement. The official emphasized that Iran's right to uranium enrichment within the framework of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, must be fully recognized by the US. We are now being joined by Ali Mohammed Abushka, who is a Middle East researcher joining us from Cairo. Thank you so much for joining us here today on NewsX. Well, thank you. So how significant is the divergence between Iran and the US over the scope and mechanisms of sanctions relief, and why has this become a major striking point in the talks?
First of all, thank you for having me. Things is always Iran usually used to negotiate to relieve the sanction again, I said out on it. So during the negotiation 5+1 in 2015, one of the significant point or phase of the negotiation was not the only the enrichment for the Iran. It was also that it relieved the sanction and leave the sanction from Iran. So since that the Islamic Revolution have been success in Iran in 1979, the Western country and Iran was suffering from the Western sanction. That's make it the economy more difficult and more miserable for Iranian economy and the life situation and lifestyle of Iran. It was more difficult. That's it. Iran insist and stress on the sanction thing, on the sanction and relieve the sanction. In my opinion, as well as for Iran, it's more important. Iran have been under the siege for more than 40 years, and similar happened with the Saddam Hussein regime, Iraqi regime, before they attacked the regime in 2003 and before the American invasion for Iraq. It was also suffering from the American sanction and the economic isolation from Western country that collapsed the regime. Same things Iran reached to this conclusion. If that sanction or the economic sanction is not going to relieve, so that the regime it's going to collapse. Especially here we are talking about the protest last year that sparked because of, and the people broke out because of the economic crisis and because of the currency value. So this thing, it's more important and essential for the negotiation delegation of Iran to relieve the sanction that's maintain the regime, especially Donald Trump. He usually continuous confirmed that it changed the regime one of the good option, and it's no doubt about Donald Trump. He like a technique hit and run. He doesn't like a long-term war against their enemy or for his purpose. So Iran reached to this conclusion. If that's the sanction, if it's still maintained, it's easy to make the regime more weak, and it's easy to be ready to collapse. And this is the most important. That's it. Iran last 2 days also imposed a sanction against several of American figure and American Navy and consider it in a blacklist, terrorist blacklist. So the thing is, the imposed the unusual sanction between both of them. Iran want to show also itself that it's ready for any option. If you are going through the war, we are ready. If you are going to impose the sanction, we are ready. Despite Iran is still, I mean, not much ready for the war, in my opinion. But also, it's an indirect message. It's like a last bullet. Iran doesn't have anything, so it should be shoot this bullet. So these things is very important, and Iran is ready now to leave the enrichment. And we talking about, I mean, the news report talk about Iran is ready also to transfer the uranium from Iran to another country, a neutral country, and etc. So this is more important for them. The economy and relieve the sanction is essential for the regime nowadays, and make it that I mean the economy a little bit fresh.
And can an interim deal still be reached in early March despite these differences, or are the gaps still too wide?
There is no doubt there is a huge gap between both of them. And there is no doubt the war is coming, it's coming. And America, it will hit Iran, there is no doubt, despite they will reach to the agreement or they will not reach to any, to zero, to zero agreement. So this is that, I mean, historically, during Saddam Hussein regime, during Muammar al-Gaddafi, during Bashar al-Assad, and during Khomeini as well. Both of them, they have a several share story. Both, all of them, they are against America. All of them, they try to be close to America after the sanction. All of them, they try to create a nuclear program. Saddam Hussein and also Muammar al-Gaddafi. Ultimately, and of all of them, they try to be very close to America and to leave everything, and they left their nuclear program. But ultimately, they bombed them and they attacked them. Saddam Hussein in 2003 and Bashar and Muammar al-Gaddafi, NATO, they took this duty in 2011, and they are throw over him. So the thing is, all in this region, the history is sharing about these things, and no doubt Iran, they will receive a bomb. But the things here, they are looking for the alternative regime. There is no one, according to Wall Street Journal, there is a report about it. There is no any opposition is ready for to take over this country and to be an alternative for the Khamenei regime. Especially all the opposition is weak, and there is no one confirmation about them. So that's make it a value gap in Iran. That will make it more chaos, like what we have seen in Iraq. Al Qaeda have been emergence, and the ISIS have been emergence after the American attack in 2003. That will make the situation and the global system is unstable. So that's it. I guess Donald Trump is thinking about it, and there is no doubt the hate between Israel and Iran as well. We can't ignore the rule of Benjamin Netanyahu. He's continuously, he and his government coalition, they are talking about attacking Iran and hit Iran and defending it. I mean, erasing Iran, because they have a missile program that's imposed the danger to the Israel. So these things, there is no doubt about it. Iran, despite if there is a gap, or there is no gap, if they will reach to the agreement or they will not reach to the agreement, ultimately they will bomb them and they will throw over the regime.
Thank you, Ali. Please don't go too far, as we will be coming back.